While MLB The Show 23 brought us some fun new minor league stadiums with high elevations, MLB The Show 24 has a few historic stadiums sprinkled in. Here's more information on the three newest stadiums to MLB The Show. First, we start off with the Kingdome, which was home to the Mariners for over 20 years. The Kingdome had a baseball capacity of 59,000 fans, and its dimensions were pretty hitter-friendly: 331 to left field, 389 to left center, 405 to dead center, and then in right field there's a higher fence, but 365 to right center and 312 in right field. So again, those shorter dimensions in right field, but the walls kind of make up for it. It was considered a hitter's ballpark nonetheless, as it was very favorable temperatures and carry in the stadium itself. The surface was made out of AstroTurf, which doesn't affect MLB The Show players all that much, but it was privy to some pretty wacky bounces for fielders in the day. The Mariners started using the Kingdome in 1977 before moving to Safeco Field in the middle of the 1999 season, and the Kingdome was imploded in the year 2000. The Kingdome that we see in the game matched the dimensions and the other features from 1991 to 1999, which matches the storyline's missions. For a time, the outfield wall was 11.5 feet all the way around, but again, that right field shorter porch was raised from 11 feet to 23 back in 1982. Some other fun facts about the stadium: there were some speakers in place similar to the Metrodome or Tropicana Field, so there were some ground rules in place, but doesn't affect too much as far as gameplay goes in MLB The Show. The seats in the Kingdome are red. They show as blue in the first in-game photo when you're selecting a stadium, but once you get into the game itself, they do turn red. There are bullpens on the field, some weird seats that kind of jet down the field by the third baseline down left field, and then there's some notches in foul territory in left and right field, so can make for some odd catches. If you're playing the computer on Showdown, they know exactly where to go. There's also no real protection for the dugouts. They had no fences or anything, so if there's a foul ball hit your way and you're in the dugout, look out. While the Kingdome only lasted for about 24 years across all of the different sports that it hosted, it has made some pretty good memories, including Ken Griffey Jr.'s game-winning run that may have saved Mariners baseball altogether. The other new stadiums in MLB The Show 24 are both from the Negro Leagues and are featured in storylines, the first of which is Rupert Stadium, which was opened in 1926. When it first opened, it had a capacity of about 12,000 fans. In 1936, they extended that to 19,000 fans, but they could really crowd in some numbers, getting as high as 22,000 fans. Rupert Stadium was home to the Newark Eagles from 1936 to 1948, located in Newark, New Jersey, and was named after Jacob Rupert, who was the team owner and built the Yankees farm system. The dimensions were pretty level across the board: 305 down the corners, 365 to left and right center, and center field was 410 at its deepest. The fences had a short wood base, but were mostly just metal fences and about 10 feet high, so was not the greatest thing to kind of crash into going for a ball. There's a decent amount of foul ground throughout the ballpark. The home plate spectators have minimal protection. There's just a couple of fences with an awning, but if you're just a little bit off to the side, there is nothing in the way of protection. The bullpens are ridiculously out of the way of play. I don't think you're able to see any pitchers or anything unless you're specifically in the bullpen menu or you go to the replay and look all the way back in the corners. The stands around the stadium are a bit haphazard. It was a multi-use stadium, so there's quite a bit of grassy area that was used for other events such as football. The elevation in Newark, New Jersey is approximately 230 feet, so the ball won't travel here a whole lot. And Newark was home to a few night baseball games, so shortly before the Newark Eagles started calling their home there, the first night game was hosted on June 11th, 1935. And lastly, the other field new to MLB The Show 24 from the Negro Leagues storylines is Greenlee Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, home of the Crawfords and the Homestead Grays for a time, but it was owned by the Crawfords owner, Gus Greenlee. The stadium hosted about 7,500 fans at capacity, but there was some portable seating that could be brought in to increase it all the way up to 12,000 fans. This was one of the first ballparks to have lights added. There were lights back in 1932, and fun little story, they did do a few midnight games at 12:01 on Mondays on occasion because there was a local ordinance that prevented them from playing baseball on Sunday. So they had a midnight game at Monday, which was quite the attended event. This field was one of the first African-American owned stadiums in the Negro Leagues, and its first game had Satchel Paige pitch to Josh Gibson. The elevation in Pittsburgh is about 1,200 feet, so there is a bit of carry at this ballpark. And while the exact dimensions are not known, it is estimated to be 343 down left field, 338 to right, and 410 to dead center. The bullpens are directly right in front of each dugout, which I thought was kind of curious, but there's not too much room out there in the outfield. You can kind of see some high hills where the stands are in center and right field. There were some elevation changes that were made during construction to kind of level the field. So where you see that 20-foot difference in the center and right field portions, that was the original elevation there. The entire fence is made out of chain link fences with the exception of a wooden scoreboard over in left field. This stadium was also one of the first parks to have lights. We had the midnight games as previously mentioned, but during the summers there was a lot of heat and just lack of shade for the stadium itself. So that was one of the ways to draw in fans, was to have night games. Sadly, this stadium didn't last for very long. It was a bit harder to get attendees due to the Great Depression. And in 1938, there was a problem with field management preventing African Americans from getting jobs at the ballpark. So a lot of fans were drawn away because of this, and the park was subsequently torn down in 1938. So again, those are the 3 newest stadiums in MLB The Show 24. If you wanted to check out more information on all of the other stadiums in the game, you can actually go to our website at showzone.gg. And if you click on the Stadiums tab, we do have some information about the elevations, capacity, dimensions for each stadium in Major League Baseball, the minor league stadiums, and then some classic and spring training stadiums like the ones that you see in this video. Just one of the features that the website offers. If you also want some advice on flipping or team building, ShowZone has it all. You can check out the website here or using the link in the description of this video. What other stadiums would you like to see added to future editions of MLB The Show? Let us know in the comments section. But that'll do it for now. Signing off, this is Kasabe from ShowZone. We'll see you next time.